All right, welcome everybody to another N7 TV broadcast here. We got the Grand Forks Aviators taking on the Roseau Rams this afternoon. The Aviators had one game yesterday, took on the Texas Brahmas out of the Lone Star State. That was a big victory for them. I believe winning that one 9-1. Don't have much on the Roseau Rams as of yet. I looked at their schedule. They have played about 4 or 5 games. They've won most of them. The only one I can really compare them to is they did take down Grafton 6-4. The Aviators here lost 5-6. And if any of you remember that game, they were up 3-0 early in the game. Ended up giving up 6 unanswered. Clawed back at the end of that game to make it a 1-goal game, but couldn't quite get the tying goal there at the end and fell just short in that one. But other than that, we should expect a pretty good game here between these two teams. Judging off of that score, it should be a fairly close one. They did take on our Bantam Blue team here this morning at 10:45. Not exactly sure how that one ended up. But either way, boys will have to come to play like they did yesterday. Obviously, stay out of the penalty box will be the key for this team. Had a lot of issues with that in the early going of this year, but they can stay out of the box, stay 5-on-5, force the other team to take the penalties, use the man advantage to their advantage, I guess. They should be fine. They have showed some energy in some of these games and also coming out fairly flat as we saw in some of those tournament games down at Moorhead. But if they can find that energy, find that team play, they should do just fine here this afternoon. We got to see Blake Baskai in net for the Aviators yesterday. Played another stellar game. Didn't see a lot of shots, but we'll see Dominic Norby here this afternoon in this one. They haven't started the clock yet. Waiting for the refs to come out, so 5 minutes still on the clock. Now they have started up. Just had the buzzer go off, try to get the refs out here. So we may have a little extended warm-up here, but either way, in the next 5 minutes or so, we'll get this one underway once the refs get out here. So hopefully you can stay with us, and it'll be an exciting afternoon. Aviators will have everybody available today. Nobody missing, as far as I know. We'll see if they stick with the same lines. Have so far, mostly through this first part of the season, the lines have pretty much stayed the same, other than when some kids are out with suspension or whatever it may have been, missing for another sport early in the season. But other than that, they've stayed the same, so we should have 60 and rolling 3 lines. Both goaltenders available to go today. So looking over here at the Roseau Rams, looks like they have a pretty full team. Maybe a couple less players than the Aviators, but for the most part about the same. 1 goaltender. I guess advantage going to the Aviators as they have not yet played today. Roseau obviously playing a game earlier this morning at 10:45. So see if a late lunch or a whole other game affects their energy here. But kids these age seem to be full of energy anyway. So I think about 2.5 minutes. Still haven't seen anything from the refs yet. Not sure if they're even in the building. I think they are. Maybe we're getting the same ones that just ref the game prior. It was a Pewee AA game between the Aviators and Moorhead. Well, we're down to about 2 minutes here and still haven't seen the zebra stripes come out quite yet. Both teams look like they're about ready to be done warming up, but can't start without the refs. I do see people running around the rink trying to find them, so we'll see if they can get them out here sooner than later. This will be the final game for the Aviators this weekend. They're looking to go 2-0 on the weekend. They do have a few games next weekend. I'll get those posted up onto the Facebook page with the links to the upcoming streams. Take a look here at what we got coming for the Aviators here after the Thanksgiving weekend. Looks like Saturday will be down in Fargo, taking on the Fargo Angels at 1:15, and then a quick turnaround. Gonna have to drive north of Grand Forks for a 7 o'clock game against Grafton. That'll be on Saturday, so nothing on Black Friday. And then Sunday, 5 p.m., they'll be taking on the Thief River Falls Prowlers over in Thief River, playing at the Junior Ralph. So that'll be exciting. Nice arena to play some hockey in. We got refs out on the ice here. Looks like a high school officiating crew, actually. This is the one ref that did kind of make it about himself a little bit in one of our earlier games this year. I believe it was a game against West Fargo where the Aviators were able to pull off a victory on a snipe by Benson Baum in overtime to win that one 3-2. But now with the refs out, we'll pick up the pucks. We'll get this game underway here in just a couple of minutes after they sign off on their game notes down there. It sounds like we'll see Jace and Charlie starting at defense. They're doing the announcements right now. There'll be the Fargo line. Mason Fargo, Owen Berg. It looks like Wyatt By will be starting this off for the Aviators. All right. The Rams are coming to the center face-off dot. We'll get ready here. 17 minutes on the clock. Teams are at the face-off dot. Face-off's down. Tied up. Picked up by the Rams. They'll control it, and they'll bring it right into the Aviators' end. Working around Charlie. Trying to bring it on. Not backhand send on Dom. That one goes behind the net. Big hit into the corner there. Shot sent on. Gets blocked. Out to the point. Rams couldn't quite get that one to the net. Another shot. That got tipped and went high. Picked up by Owen Berg along the wall. Mason Fargo digs it out. He gets around one defenseman. He's going to work this one down into the Roseau Rams end. Down the far side has Wyatt in the middle. Gets tripped up, arm goes up, he goes in the net, net comes off, whistle's blown, and the Aviators will go on the power play. So, just 32 seconds into this first period. The Rams take a penalty. Aviators going on the power play, 5-on-4. 2-minute penalty will go up on the board. Fiala line out there for the Aviators. He's out there with Shower and Blasky. Tied up, sent back to the defense. Charlie over to Kulak. Kulak shot sent on. Fiala tries to feed one back out front. Decides to send it back to Blasky. Blasky to Shower. Shower point blank couldn't beat the goaltender. Goaltender didn't quite know where it was, but it stayed out of the net, and looks like Roosevelt dumped this one down. It'll be a race down the middle for it. Coming in on Dom. Nice job there by Charlie to get back. Knocked down the player, though, so he'll get called for a penalty as the player went barreling into Dom. And we'll get a whistle here as the Aviators touched it. Oop, excuse me. It'll be tripping call, so that'll even things up 4-on-4. Oh, minute in, penalty each side. 25 seconds off that first penalty for Roseau, so if everything stays the way it is, they'll get a short little power play for 25 seconds. This one went over to the boards. Dexon tries to pick it up out to the point. Dom was out of the net, not sure what he was doing, lost his stick. Wide open net goal there for Roseau. And they take the early lead 4-on-4. So the Rams up 1-0 here, just over a minute into the game. It's up, tied up at center dot. Comes loose, comes to Benson Baum. Baum over to Daxon. Daxon chips one through the middle, trying to get the Shower. That one's knocked back by Roseau. Roseau brings this one in down the left side. They send one to the middle. Down below the goal line. Tied up in the corner. Shower comes over to pick it up. Leave this one off for Benson. Benson will skate over the red line. Now into the Roseau end, down the left side, cuts to the middle, trying to get through the defense. That was knocked off of his stick. Roseau regains control, and out of the zone they come. Trying to split the D, but knocked away there by Mason Fiala. Picked up by Benson. He feeds one over to Jordy. Jordy trying to slip through. Gets stripped up. Down he goes. No arm. Sent out by Roseau down the ice. This one will be picked up by Easton Green. Green spins away from one Roseau player. Has it taken away from him. Roseau works it down, feeds it up front, knocked away by Jordy. Shower, pushed to the side. Roseau with control of it. About 20 seconds, they'll go 5-on-4 here. Chipped out by Nick Henderson. This one will go down to the Roseau end. Roseau goes D to D. They're going to chip this one through the middle. That one's off the mark. Picked up by Easton Green. He backhands one over to Henderson. Henderson sends it over to the far side to Caden Yana. Yana chips one through, trying to hit Nicholson. That was off the mark. Roseau's got their guy back out. They're on the power play here for the next about 18 seconds. Picked up by Yana. Sends it down low. Rings it around to the far side. Roseau jumps on this one. Goes up the wall, but taken away by Caden Yana. They do eventually make it out in the neutral zone. Easton Green knocked away, but Roseau stays with it. 2-on-1. Shot sent on, goes off the pipe. Picked up by Roseau. Back to 5-on-5 as Charlie's let out of the box. Knocked away, puck loose out front, picked up by Seffi. Seffi tried to turn away from a Roseau player, had it knocked away. Roseau regains control in the zone. Puck loose up at the blue line. Shot sent through traffic, that one high, goes off the dasher board, pops up in the air. Battle for it down in the corner. They send it up the wall. That goes off of Nicholson. Nicholson feeds it through the middle. Rose is going to steal this one away in the slot. They keep it in the zone here. Works to the middle. High slot through traffic. Shot sent on. Got blocked. Bounces in. Easy tap in goal for Roseau. They're up 2-0. Roseau coming out quick here, jumping out to a 2-0 lead. Fargo line out there for the Aviators. Owenberg, excuse me. And wide by, off of Berg's foot. Comes back to Charlie. Roseau grabs this one. They chip it to the far side. They're going to work this one right down the middle. Shots in on. Dom makes the save on that one. Holds on. A little pushing and shoving right here. Looks like the Aviators are going to go on the power play here. 17 got called for running into the goaltender. Oh, Aviators back on the power play. They need to stay out of the box here. They'll have the man advantage for the next 2 minutes. Oh, Aviators trailing by 2 here. Need to score here on the power play. Try to cut into this lead. Here's Mason Fargo, sends one to the far side. Picked up by wide by. And back to Mason. Now it's up the wall to Charlie. Charlie sent one on. That got partially blocked. Roseau gathers it up. Trying to get it out of the zone. Charlie's going to try to keep it in, but Roseau poke it out. Picked up by Mason Fargo. He brings it in the right side. Feeds one towards the net. That one pops up and goes over the goal. Now back to Fargo behind the net. Sends up to the point to Charlie. Charlie over to Jace Kulak. Kulak shoot through traffic. That one went wide. Comes over to Charlie again. Back down below the goal line. Roseau gathers it up along the wall, trying to get it out of the zone here. They spin away from a check from Mason Fargo. They got control of it, and they'll send it out to the far side into the neutral zone. Sent down to the Aviators' end. Jace Kulak will go back for the Aviators to pick this one up. Behind his net, sends one off the wall, feeds it up to Jordy Shower. That was a little off the mark. Roseau will get control of it again. About 55 seconds to go on the power play here for the Aviators. Roseau with control, brings it in his zone. Blasky steals it away, though. He'll send it off the wall. It'll come out to the point for Roseau. Roseau shots in on, glove saved by Dom, holds on. We'll get a face-off. 40 seconds to go on the power play for the Aviators. Face-off coming in the Aviators' end. Mason Fiala line out there. He's got Blasky and Shower with him. That's Benson over to Daxon. Daxon chips off the wall, comes up to the point, but not out. Roseau able to chip it back down in on the stick up Benson. Benson takes a look, sends one up the wall, but stolen away by a Roseau player. Works it down below the goal line, try to go off Dominic's back. Stayed out of the net, but Roseau's still trying to push this one out. Daxon clears it out of harm's way over to Mason Fiala. He tries to chip it out. Roseau keeps it in, dumps it into the far side. Picked up by Benson. Benson trying to bring this one out. Now Roseau with control. Mason Fiala pushes the Roseau player off the puck there. Blasky picks it up. He takes a look. Sends one through the middle. That comes out to a Roseau player at center ice. Sent right back in by the Roseau player. Hits the back of the net. Picked up by Benson. He sends one off the wall. It comes up to Blasky. Blasky backhands one up. Gets it to Fiala. Fiala down the left side. Shots in on the goaltender. Glove save. Holds on. And we'll get a face-off. So 10:47 remaining here. First period. Roseau's leading this one 2-0. We're going to face off in the Roseau end, far side. Looks like we have the same line, Nicholson, Cadenyana, and Safi, but Nicholson not taking the face-off. Cadenyana sliding into the center spot. Roseau rung that one around. It came out of the zone. Now it's picked up by Yana. He sends it far side over to Easton Green. Easton Green sends it over to his D partner, Nick Henderson. Henderson through the middle. Stretch pass to Nicholson. Feeds it to the middle to Yana. That was just a little bit off the mark. Otherwise, Yana was splitting the D. Henderson trying to push this one forward. Gets it up to Seffi. Seffi works it to the middle. Knocked off of her stick. Roseau bounces one off the wall here. They send her passes off the mark. Comes to Nick Henderson. Henderson turns it back in. Sends it down into the Rams end where Nicholson backhands one back down below the goal line. Sent up the sidewall. Henderson trying to seal off that point. Keeps it in. Chips one over. Trying to get to Seffi, but taken away by Roseau. Roseau will just send this one down the ice. Looks like it'll go for icing. And we're going to face off back down in the Rams' end. Oh, 2-0 Rams here. The first half of this first period. 9:50 to go. It'll be the Fargo line out there. One up, one over to the sidewall. Roseau trying to get control here. Now it's the Aviators. Kept in by Charlie, but right onto a Roseau stick, and they send it right back out, far side. Trying to feed it to the middle. Nice job of defending by Charlie. Took that one away, and it gets up to Berg and over to Fargo. Knocked off of his stick, but they ended up getting it down into the Roseau Rams end anyways. Tied up along the boards by Berg. Fiala trying to battle, Fargo trying to battle for it. Here's Berg, slips out front. Puck loose, shot sent on. Goaltender kicks the net off. We get a whistle. We'll get a face-off in the Rams' end here. Oh, Aviators putting some pressure on there, trying to poke one in the back of the net, but a quick whistle, and we'll get a face-off. Fiala line comes out for the Aviators. Shower to his right, Blasky to his left. Miedema and Kulak are the defensemen. Miedema sends one on net. That one got tipped. Goaltender kicks it into the corner. They ring it around to the near side. Kulak will try to keep this one in. One off of his stick, and Rams will bring this one out in the neutral zone. Down the far side, shots in on, got blocked by Miedema. Another chance here. Glove saved by Dom. Couldn't quite hold on to it. Picked up by Jordy Shower. Shower sends it to the middle, but goes off a Roseau Ram. They bring it behind the net. Now picked up by, I thought it was going to be Charlie, but that one gets sent in on Dom. And he gets a glove on it, holds on. We're going to face off. Rams winning the puck battles here. Beating the Aviators to the pucks. Aviators got to start winning some of those battles, get more puck possession here, but important face-off in the zone here. Caden Yan will take the face-off. He wins that one back, comes right to Benson Baum. Benson behind his own net, takes a look, feeds one up, tried to give it off to Seffi. Roseau stole that one away. Now it's picked up by Daxon. He had it knocked off of his stick, regains control, backhands through the middle, gets it right to Caden Yana. Yana, 3-on-2 here. Backhands one, gets it to Seffi. All alone, guys get a shot off. She gets knocked down. Puck is covered up. And we're going to face off down here in the Rams' end. Nice play there by Caden Yana. Dragged the defenseman across. Little backhand pass over to Seffi. But a good recovery there by the Roseau Ram defense as they were able to get a stick and trip up Seffi there before she could get a solid shot off. Okay, to take the face off again. Roseau wins this one. Defenseman tied up along the boards. Dug out of there by Caden Yana. Comes over to the near side. Roseau gets on it first, but taken away by Seffi. Seffi trying to push this one down below the goal line. Looks like she was successful in that. Comes up the wall. Caden Yana seals that off. Still battling for it. Chipped out there by Roseau. That one will go down all the way into the corner. We'll get an icing call. It looks like it'll be the Fargo line coming up for the Aviators. Owen Berg. Wide by Easton Green, and Nick Henderson will come out. Fargo to take the face off. Face off sent up the wall. Now back down below the goal line. Roseau gains control behind their own net. Fargo comes over and tries to steal this one away. It looked like he did for a moment, but Roseau was able to feed on in the neutral zone. Taken away by Henderson, but knocked off of his stick. Easton Green feeds it up the wall, trying to hit Henderson. Looks like he was able to tip that one in. Roseau gains control behind their own net. Berg comes over to try to steal this away. Looks like he does. Lost control of it. Fargo steals it back. He has it along the sidewall. Knocked off of his stick. Roseau gets control, feeds it to the far side off of Ram's stick. Gets it to Easton Green. Berg comes over and tries to knock that one away. Now it's picked up by Fargo and Green in there as well. He backhands one into the Rams' end. Rams skate this one forward into the neutral zone. With some speed on the left side, puts on the brakes. Mason Fargo tried to put on a check now. Wyatt in there giving a little bump, but that goes off sides for the Rams, and we get a whistle and a face-off. Oh, 6:58 remaining here. First period. Shot 7-7. 2 goals, though, for the Rams. 0 for the Aviators. Fiala's line is out there now for the Aviators. He has control of the puck. Skates this one forward. Tried to dump it in, but knocked away by a Rams player. It's over to the near side. Rams bring it in. Shot through traffic. That goes off of the legs of Kulak. He sends one out into the neutral zone. It'll be picked up by the Rams at their own blue line. Chipped out, taken away by Blasky. Blasky chips one in, gives it over to Fiala. Fiala trying to chip and go around the defense. It's down into the corner, but Rams get control. They bring it around to the far side, picked up by Miedema. At the blue line, he sends one to the middle, gets to Blasky. Blasky gets checked right away. Rams take control of the puck. They try to send one through the middle. Nice check there by Mason. Fiala knocks the Rams player away from the puck. Kulak feeds it up to Shower. Shower tried to feed it through the middle, but that was taken away by the Rams. Now the Rams push it down into the Aviators' end. Kulak comes over to help out his defensive partner, Miedema. Chipped off the glass. That'll come up out to the blue line, but not out. Miedema will grab it in the corner. Takes a look. Off the wall. Rams get control. They backhand one back down in. Now it's picked up by Jordy Shower. He's going to try to push this one out, but Rams keep it in. They're behind the defense. Kulak has to recover. 2-on-1. Shots it on. Gloves saved there. Dom holds on. We'll get a face-off. Oh, about 5.5 minutes to go here, first period. Roseau leading 2-0 over the Aviators. Face-off coming in the defensive zone. Out to the point. Rams shot sent on, blocked by Seffi. Rams get control of the puck again, though. They send one through the middle. That one's stolen away by Benson. Benson sends it up the wall, trying to hit Yana. Yana trying to get behind the defense, but couldn't quite beat him there. Sent back to the blue line of the Aviators. Benson sends it off the wall, goes off a Rams stick. They gain control. Shot through traffic. That goes off a Dom's blocker and into the corner. Sent out front again, trying to get a shot off. Benson was able to clear that out of the way. Now picked up by Daxon. He chips one through the middle and gets it up to Seffi. Seffi with it. Sends one into the Rams end. She gets control of it again. Gives it off to Nicholson down into the corner. Nicholson sends one out front. That one off a stick of Caden out front. Couldn't quite corral that one, and Rams clear it out. Down the left side, trying to get around Benson. Shot sent on. Back of the net. That went off all the posts. And the Rams strike again, make this 3-0. Oh, 4:48 remaining here, first period. Rams all over the Aviators, 3-0. Face-off push forward by the Rams, taken away by Nick Henderson. He backhands one up, trying to get it to Berg, but that was stolen away by the Rams. Right in front of the Aviators bench. They try to chip this one in. Henderson steals that one away. He feeds one, gets wide behind the defense. Trying to hold on to this puck, but the Rams get back and able to seal that off. Berg comes in to try to help out. Wyatt now with the puck backhands one out front, but nobody home. Rams are able to clear this one out into the neutral zone. Picked up by the Rams once again, bring it into the Aviators end. Knocked away there by Berg, picked up by Henderson. He loops back into the corner. Sent up the wall, gets it to wide by. By hands it off to Fargo. Fargo down the right side. Spins, hands it off to Berg. Berg cuts to the middle, gets to By. By try to push one towards the net. Knocked down by the Rams. They'll push this one out in the neutral zone. Henderson sends it over to his D partner, Green. Green tried to send him with the wall. That one whiffed on a little bit, caught up in the ref skates. Rams get control, bring it into the Aviators end. Shot on, sent through traffic. That beat down, hit the post, but went up into the netting, and we'll get a face-off. That'll be the Fiala line out there for the Aviators. One to the sidewall. Down in the corner, picked up by Fiala. He sends it up the wall, gets it to Blasky. Blasky backhands one. Trying to hit Fiala, but nobody was home there. That one's sent on by Roseau, kicked into the corner by Dom. Arm goes up. Penalty coming here to the Rams. Kulak got checked from behind. And we'll get a power play here for the Aviators. So face off coming down in the Rams and Aviators going on the power play. 2 minutes up on the board. 3:23 remaining here, first period. Aviators trailing by 3 here in the first. Foul line will take the face off. Roseau wins that one back. They send one high up down the ice trying to spring somebody, but that one will go a little too far for icing, and we'll reset back down in the Aviators' end, or excuse me, the Rams' end. Face off one back. Kulak sends one through traffic. Goaltender saw that one the whole way. Kicks it aside. Comes over to Blasky. Blasky chips it down the corner. Rams try to send it out, but Blasky sends one on. That one went high and wide. Picked up by Kulak. He sends it off the wall back down below. Blasky picks it up behind the net. Misplayed that one. Picked up by Roseau. The back one out to the blue line. Kept in by Charlie for the moment, but Roseau will bring this one out. 2-on-1 developing for Roseau. Nice job by Shower to get back. Sent through the middle. Picked up by the Rams down the left side. Shot sent on, wide open net. And the Aviators give up a shorthanded goal, and we'll be down 4-0 now. Caden Yana and his line, Seffi and Luke Nicholson out there. Benson Baum, Daxon Norby will be the defenseman. Here's Nicholson, sends it through the middle, gets it to Daxon. Daxon takes a look, skates this one forward, hands it off to Caden. Caden backhands one over to Daxon. Daxon shot one off the leg, popped up high in the air. Nicholson trying to grab this one. Comes over to the sidewall. Roseau gets there first. They ring it around to the near side. Daxon's going to slide down and try to keep this one in, but it looks like he got behind him, and there'll be a race forward down to the Aviators' end. Trying to get around Benson, does a nice job of stealing that one back. He'll skate this one forward. Stretch pass hits Caden on the far side. Caden slows up. Shot sent on. Pushed into the corner. Roseau sends it up the wall. That one not able to be kept in. Benson's going to send it over to Daxon. Daxon sends one in on net. Goaltender holds on. Or kicks it into the corner, excuse me. Wrap back around. Seffi's going to try to steal this one. She gets knocked down. Puck comes loose out into the neutral zone. Yana comes back trying to steal that one, but Roseau gets there first. Down into the corner. Easton Green picks it up. He's going to skate this one up. Through the middle. Tries to hit Seffi. Picked up by Easton again. Skates it forward. Down into the corner. Sends one towards the net. That one went behind the net. It's back to 5-on-5 hockey as Roseau gets their player, but taken away here by wide by. Shots it on. That one goes between the legs. Goes off the post. Puck's still loose out front. Aviators can't grab it. Rams are going to clear this one out. Back down to the Aviators' end. Sent to the middle here. Puck loose in the high slot. Fargo trying to get control of it. Rams get it. They shoot. That got block kicked out into the neutral here by the Aviators. Rams have control, though. They send it right back into the Aviators' end, down into the corner. Picked up by Berg. Berg hands it off to Fargo. Fargo chips off the wall. Roseau will get control, and they'll just chip it back down into the corner. Centering pass taken away by Henderson. He puts one off the wall, lost the handle on that one, trying to get it back here. Sends it up to Wyatt. Wyatt centering pass hits Fargo. Fargo hustling down the near side, had taken away. Roseau will gather this one up. We got about 15 seconds to play here in the first period. Picked up by Wyatt by far side. Backhands one into the Roseau end. Roseau looks like they're just going to kill the time here. Only about 2 seconds to play. They'll send it down the ice, but that's the end of period 1. So we're going to get some fresh ice here. Aviators headed to the locker room. Talk this one over. They need it. They're down 4-0 after one period here. 11-10, the shots show in favor of the Rams. We're going to take a short little break, and we'll be right back. Hopefully you can join us for the next 2 periods. Aviators got some work to do. Oh, Aviators got some work to do here as they sit in the locker room and discuss what they need to work on here. Going into the second period, they're down 4-0 after one. Still 34 minutes to play. They're going to have to start controlling play, winning some puck battles, staying out of the box here in order to get back into this one. Roseau is definitely taking their fair share of penalties. I don't think they're going to slow down on that. So Aviators should have some opportunities on the power play, but need to find a way to stay out of the box themselves and get control of this puck and try to maintain some of this play. We'll see what adjustments the Aviators make as they discuss things here in the locker room. Will we see some shakeup in the lines, or will we see them taking some more chances, some stretch passes, trying to spring some people, get some odd man rushes? We'll have to see. Could we see a change in net? We'll have to find out as Zamboni's on his last pass here. The Aviators will be coming back out on the ice here real soon. They're going to have to give this ice a few minutes. Looks like it's still pretty wet with the warm weather outside. The ice hasn't quite adjusted to it. You'll see some rolling pucks and bouncing pucks here on this soft ice. But same surface for both teams, so they both have to deal with it. Shots showing 11-10 in favor of the Rams. But they've been able to find the net 4 times here, or back of the net, I should say. Aviators still scoreless after 1. They need to find a way to get some more quality shots on net. Of those 10, maybe 2 of them were fairly quality, where the goaltender had to put some effort in there to make the save. Other than that, it's been shots from the point that he clearly saw and was able to kick into the corner or make a glove save on. Aviators lined up in the hallway there, ready to come out. Box workers are back in the box, ready to go. Let's see if we can get the refs out here on time once again. The refs are ready to go. They come out on the ice, just waiting for the Zamboni doors to close, and we should see the teams take the ice. Aviators got work to do here. Nets are getting set, still waiting for the Zamboni doors to close here. They're trying to clear some of the water off back there. Looks like we'll get them closed up now. Teams will take the ice here in just a second. Get things stretched out, get ready for this second period. All right, out come the Aviators onto the ice. Rams should be joining them real soon here. Still waiting on the Rams to come out of the locker room here. Everybody else is on the ice, ready to go, getting things stretched out. 17 minutes up on the scoreboard. There comes the Rams, so give them a few minutes to get stretched out. We'll get the second period underway. Oh, yeah, the Fargo line starting out the first period. We'll see who the Aviators send out here to get the second period going. Looks like it'll be the Fargo line sticking around out there again, so we'll see them taking the first shift here. Same with defenseman. It'll be Kulak and Miedema getting things started here for the Aviators at defense. Down still in net for the Aviators. Refs checking all the doors, making sure they're locked. Players come to the center face-off dot. Puck is down. Face-off one back, picked up by the Rams. Now Mason Fargo brings it up the near side. Rams poke this one out, but it's kept in. Here's Mason Fargo. Shot through traffic high and over the net. Berg chases down this one. He sends it back down into the corner. Behind the net, Rams pick it up. They're going to reverse it over to the near side. Berg's going to try to get there and steal this one away, but Rams will bring it out in the neutral zone. Backhand one down into the Aviators' end, picked off by Kulak. Kulak takes a look, sends it up the wall, gets it up to Wyatt down the far right side. Skates it towards the front of the net, got a shot off. Rams are able to clear that one out. It's going to go down the ice. New defenseman here for the Aviators. Daxon picks this one up behind his own net. Got caught by the water here. Stretch pass. That one's off the mark. Picked up by Dax. Caught that one out of the air. He's going to skate it up. Still caught up in the water. Brings this one forward. Shot sent on. Goes off the goaltender's helmet. Up and out of play. We'll get a face off down here in the Rams' end. Far side. Fiala line comes out for the Aviators. Face up, tied up. Shower pushes over into the near side corner. Rams backhand up the wall, comes up to the point, kept in by Benson. Benson sends it off the wall. That's going to go back down below the goal line. Rams get there first. They ring around to the near side. Daxon slides over, tries to keep that one in. Able to do that, sends one towards the net, picked off by Roseau right before their goaltender. Rams are going to chip this one up the wall, and now will come on the neutral zone. Daxon retreats into his own zone, picks this one up. Cut up by the water, rings that one around, comes out into the neutral zone. Rams get control of it at their own blue line. They send it up the far side. That one off a couple of sticks, ends up going down to the Aviators' end. Benson racing back to get this one. He tries to slip around one Ram player. Rings it off the wall, comes up the sidewall to Blasky. Rams get control. Knocked away there by Blasky. Now pushed out into the high slot. Turn around, shot. That one went up and over the net. Another chance. That one gets pushed wide. Oh, comes out to the point. Rams set up. Send it down the sidewall. Misplayed. Benson backhands that one out to the point, but not out. Send down the near side. Rams kick that one over to the far side. Shower trying to poke it out. Now, Fiala does come out in the neutral zone, picked up by Shower. He feeds one up to Blasky, but that's taken away by Roseau and sent back out in the neutral zone. Here's Blasky. Brings it right back in with some speed, trying to get around the defense. Shots it off. Goaltender makes the save. Roseau clears it out quickly. It comes out in the neutral zone where it's picked up by Green. Green turns, lost the handle on that one, comes to Henderson. Comes out to the blue line, but Rams keep it in, 3-on-1. Trying to get through Henderson, puck loose, comes in on net, gets pushed to the side, picked up by Shower down in the corner. Down goes, looks like Caden Yana, he got caught up by the boards. Aviators able to push it on the neutral zone. Rams with control, though. They turn it right back towards the Aviators' end. Down the far side into the zone. Caden Yana trying to get control of this puck behind his own net. He chips and goes around one defense. Down he goes again. Got tripped up. Looks like it was on his own player, Mason Fiala, though. Rams working towards the net. Shots in on. Dom makes the save. Puck still loose in the blue paint. Trying to dive on it. Picked up by Seffi. She digs it out. Skates it up the near side. Gets it to the blue line. Slips away from one player. Feeds it up. Trying to get it to Fiala. But that was off a Ram. Seffi gets it back. Feeds it up to Nicholson. Off of his stick into the zone. Trying to get there. Pokes one towards the goaltender. Shot sent on. Goaltender made the save. Net comes off. And we get a whistle. Wide open net there for Seffi. Goaltender with an outstretched leg was able to get there to make the save, but kicked the net off, and we'll get a whistle down here in the Roseau end. So 13:30 remaining here, second period. Rams still on top 4-0. Caden Yana trying to send it back to the point there. The Aviators able to keep it down. Seffi backhands it up to Caden. That got taken away, comes out to the blue line, picked up by Kulak. He's trying to send it down low. That went off a Roseau Ram, back down into the Aviators end. Needham backhands it up the wall. Now Kulak pushes it further into the Rams' end. Rams go D to D. They send one through the middle. Bring it in the Aviators' end. Working on the defense. Stretching them out. Knocked away there by Seffi. Seffi picks it up. Goes behind her own net. Turns. Finds a lane. Cuts through. Kicks it forward. Trying to get it to Nicholson. Rams pick it off at the blue line. Shots in on. That goes off a body. Goes wide. Big hit there by Kulak. Arm goes up, though. And we're going to get a penalty call here. Not sure what that was for. Maybe an elbowing. I guess a roughing call. So we're going to face off down here in the Aviators' end. 2 minutes up on the board. Penalty kill for the Aviators. Mason Fargo, Owen Berg will be the forwards. Daxon Norby and Benson will be the defensemen. Face off, one back by Mason Fargo. Daxon chips it up off the wall, gets to Fargo again. Pushed up to the point, kept in by Roseau. They go D to D. Nice job there by Berg. Pokes it away. He loses his footing. Roseau works it down into the corner. Wet ice still down in the corner, so players are fighting that down here in this near side corner. Shots in on. Dom makes the save. Puck bounced up in the air, went off the top of the net. Picked up by Fargo. Chipped out by Fargo down into the Roseau end. Berg's going to go after it. Roseau chips it up the wall. Daxon's going to keep this one in. He works it towards the middle. Knocked away. Roseau regains control. They go behind their own net. Nice job there by the Aviators, taking that puck away and keeping it out in the neutral zone. Roseau gets control here. About a minute 5 left on the power play here for Roseau. Big hit there by Daxon. Read that pass, was able to slide up and get a check on the player there. Forcing Roseau to have to retreat back in their own zone, but here they come down the near side. Working on Benson, trying to get around. Backhand set on. Dom gloves that one, holds on. We're going to face off. Oh, 11:35 here to go in the second period. 50 seconds left on the power play for the Rams. They lead 4-0 here over the Aviators. Wide body to take the face off. He's out there with Ryder Blasky. Henderson and Easton Green will be the defenseman. This one's sent all the way down icing and will reset back down in the Aviators' end. They'll face off in the far side of the zone this time. Face off, one back by the Rams. Shot sent on. That one goes wide. Down goes a Ram player and Easton. No call on that one. Rams have control behind the net. The backhand one up front. Shot sent on. Dom makes the leg save on that one. Henderson chips this one out, but looks like it'll go out of play. And we're going to face off here back down in the Aviators' end. Should be on the far side there. Well, 23 seconds left to go here on this power play for the Rams. Wyatt by to take the face off once again. Face off one back. Henderson tied up along the wall. Easton Green comes behind his net to help out. Steals that puck away, pushes it up the wall. Wyatt comes over. Rams are able to send it back down low. Aviators send it out to the point. They keep it in at the blue line, though. We're back to 5-on-5. As Jace was let out, out comes Jordy Shower. Tied up behind the net here. Picked up by Henderson. Henderson takes a look. Survey sends one through the middle. Hits Blasky stick. Hands it off to wide by. He chips one down in the corner. He's going to go for a change. Shower steals this one way out front. Oh, lost the handle on bouncing puck. Roseau regains control. Stretch pass across, but read by Miedema. He skates this one up. He gets knocked down the blue line, but gets the puck into the zone. Nice job by Rams to get it out right away. Kulak with a big hit on the far side. That one chipped out of play into the Roseau bench, and we'll get a whistle and a face-off in the neutral zone. Oh, 10:04 remaining here. Second period. Rams all over the Aviators, 4-0 here. Aviators not able to get much going so far through the first half of this game. Rams bring this one back towards Aviators' end, picked off by Seffi. Seffi takes a look. Sends one off the wall. That one will come up to Yana. Yana feeds it to the middle, trying to hit Nicholson. Rams take it back, though. They send one up high off the glass far side. Kulak comes over. He sends one down, but offsides. That would have been icing. But it ended up just being an offsides as the Aviators were still in the zone. Oh, we're going to push it back to the far end, or far part of the neutral zone here. Rams get control off the face-off. Taken away by Nicholson. He chips it out. It'll push right back in by the Rams. We'll get a quick whistle and an offsides call. We'll get a face-off and redo it again on the same dot. Nicholson to take the face-off. Yana back to wing now. Back in, face-off won by Nicholson. Gets it back to Kulak. Kulak sends it up the wall, trying to get it back to Nicholson. The Rams took that one away, and they bring it right back into the zone. Knocked away by Kulak. Kulak turns it right back over the red line. Nicholson has to hold up. Kulak brings it over the red line, hands it off to Nicholson. Nicholson tried to backhand one on. Couldn't quite get solid wood on that one. Steffi comes down, trying to steal this puck away. Now tied up along the far side wall. In comes Yana. Yana sends it to Nicholson. Nicholson out to the point. Daxon through traffic. That one off the goalie's glove, hit the side of the net. Nicholson pushes over to the near side to Seffi. Seffi keeps it along the sidewall. Trying to push this one lower. Chipped out of there by Roseau, and we'll get a face-off down on the Roseau end. Looks like that fan will keep that puck. We'll get a fresh one in play here. 8:52 to go in the second period. Aviators trailing by 4. It'll be the Fargo line comes out. He's got Berg and by with him. Here's wide by. Sends one off. Hits the pipe. Through traffic. Goaltender never really saw it. That one hit the pipe. Came right back out. Roseau sends this one down. Benson will chase it down, though, before icing. Picked up by Benson. Trying to get around the Roseau Ram. Caught up in some skates. Looks like the Aviators will push it out. Finally get it out in the neutral zone. Picked off by Berg. Almost had a chance at a breakaway. Lost control of it, though. Rams get it back. They send it through the middle. Benson trying to get there, but couldn't quite keep that one in his zone. It'll be on the stick of Berg. He hands it off to Fargo. Able to chip that one down into the corner. Rams grab it behind the net. Rams working it out to the point. Kept in, though. There's Fargo. Knocked off of his stick. Onto Benson. Benson through traffic. Goaltender makes the save. Benson follows up his shot. Grabs it in the corner, backhanded up front. White couldn't quite get there. Rams get control and then work this one out in the neutral zone. Brought in down the right side. They feed it back. Nice stick there by Wyatt. Breaks up that play. Sent out to the point. Shot went off a stick. That went high and over the net. Hits the back glass. Roseau gets there first. They send one to the middle. Picked up by Daxon. He's going to skate this one out. Lose the hand on that one. Comes over to Fargo, who's ready to fire, but it was offsides, and we'll get a face off. 7:32 remaining here, second period. 4-0 still. That's the way we ended the first. Not a lot going on here in the second period. A couple chances for each team, but back and forth we go. Picked up by Henderson. Henderson dumps one in. That one went just wide of the goaltender. Now it's Blasky in the corner. He picks up, goes behind the net. Loses the handle on it, has to stop, gathers it up. In comes Shower to help him out. Roseau trying to dig that out. Here's Shower. Shower getting control of it. Finally does. Feeds one out to Henderson, but it went off a stick. Henderson had to react. Gets control of it, but had to bring it out. Sends it over to Easton. Easton through the middle. Trying to hit Shower. That was off the mark. Rams gather it up and bring it into the zone. Knocked away by Henderson. Backhanded out to the blue line. Rams keep it in. Shots in on. That got tipped off front. Went just wide. Picked up by Henderson. He sends one off the near side wall over to Blasky. Blasky has to retreat deeper into his zone. Decides to go behind the net. Takes a look. Sent through the middle. Gets it to Fiala. Tipped off of his stick. Down into the Rams end. Shower's going to chase after this. Shower steals this one behind the net. Poked away. Yana comes in, but Rams come out of the zone with it, trying to get around the defense, working on Henderson. Henderson, nice job to get back. They feed it to the middle. That goes off of Easton. Green skate almost went in the back of the net, but just wide. He sends it up the wall. Rams trying to keep this one in. Shower looks like he'll chip it out. Gets it to Yana. Yana backhands one out in the neutral zone. Shower pushes it down into the Rams end. Picked up by the Rams. They're going to ring this one around. Far side. Kulak and Minima come off the bench. This one kicked in on net. Dom had to kick it aside. Picked up by Miedema. He feeds it up. Gets it to Nicholson. Nicholson backhands one over to Seffi. Caught up in her skate. She stops, retreats, sends it back to Miedema. Miedema takes a look. Gives it back to Seffi. Bounces forward. Rams trying to poke that out. Finally bring it back out in the neutral zone. Big hit there by Miedema. Slows down the Rams player. Keeps the puck at the red line. Rams get control of it. Taken away by Seffi. She pushes it down into the Rams end. 5.5 minutes to go here, second period. Rams with control. They send it to the far side. 2-on-2. Kulak, Miedema defending. Arm goes up. That was a tough call there, tripping call. So the Aviators will go back on the penalty call, or penalty kill. Looks like it'll be Nicholson and Seffi out there as the forwards. Rams have it at the blue line. They send it down the sidewall. Daxon and Benson will be the defensemen. Working off this near side wall. They feed out to the point. Nice job by Nicholson. Gets a skate on that one. Comes out in the neutral zone. Forcing the Rams to regroup. They turn it right back. Bring it into the zone. Trying to get around the defense. Backhand set down. Dom makes the glove save. Holds on. We'll get a face off. Oh, 4:50 remaining here. Second period. Minute 33 left on the power play for the Rams. They send a D-to-D out to the point on the near side. Sent out the wall. Picked off here by Berg. Berg fings it to the middle to By. Off of his stick. Rams get control. Brought into the zone. Poked out by Wyatt there. Rams will have to regroup. They send it through the middle. Brought back in by the Rams. Down into the corner. Push behind the net. Rams gather it up. Wyatt trying to steal this one away. Rams still with control of it. They feed it to the far side. Shots in on. Dom makes a save, kicked into the corner. Picked up by Benson. Benson slips one defender. Skates this one with some speed down the middle. Brings it into the zone. Cuts to the middle. Gets through the defense. Goaltender tried to glove that one. Sends it out front. Here's Benson again. Misplayed that one. Tried to drag it out front. This one sent out to the point. Kept in by Wyatt, but they say no offsides, and we're going to face off just outside the Rams' end. So 30 seconds remaining on the penalty here for tripping to Kulak. 3:46 remaining in the second period. Mason Fargo. Mason Fiala out there as well as forwards. Easton Green and Nick Henderson will be the defensemen. Nice job of penalty killing here by Mason Fargo and Mason Fiala. Fiala will jump on this one on the sideboards. He feeds one toward the net. Push forward there by Rams, taken away by Fargo, but Rams will gather this one up and bring it back down towards the Aviators' end. Pushed into the zone. Henderson. Roseau with control. They send him through the middle. Fine, two players standing back door. Slip that one in the back of the net. And they make it 5-0 just as the penalty expired. So not a power play goal, but a goal nonetheless. They extend their lead to 5. Face off. Fiala pushes that one forward. He goes through a few people, gets knocked down. Rams push that one on the neutral zone. Aviators push it back in, but a little bit early, and it's offsides. 3 minutes to go here, second period. Roseau leading 5-0 over the Aviators. Face off, one back by Roseau. They have control. They backhand one up the wall. Picked off by Shower. Shower backhands one to Green. Green feeds one up to Blasky. He backhands it out in the neutral zone, taken away by Roseau. Roseau dumps this one back down into the Aviators' end. Picked up by Henderson. Here's Easton Green. Skates this one forward. Gets it over the red line, dumps it down. Rams get on it first. They go back to back, or behind the net, D to D. Rams skate this one in, try to get a shot off, knocked away by Fiala. Kulak was able to chip that out into the neutral zone. Rams get it up to the blue line, dump it in. Minima will chase after this one, goes behind his own net. Backhands one over to Shower. Shower feeds one up to Fiala. Fiala bumps one forward into the Rams' end. Defense slips away from him, chips this one up the boards, a little bit too far for himself. Kulak pushed it back. There's a big hit along the boards. Rams push it down into the Aviators' end, picked up by Kulak. He sends it off the wall, trying to get it up to Shower. Rams take that one away. They'll send that one in. Back down below the goal line, picked up by Kulak. Kulak with it, sends one off the wall. Rams gather it up at the blue line. Pushed out. Here's Fiala. He's behind the defense if he hurries. Brought in, shots in on. That one whistles high and wide. Comes off a stanchion weird. Rams had a chance on a 2-on-1 there, but it hit the glass, or the metal parts that hold the glass together a little weird. Broke up that play. There's Benson knocking that puck away from the front of the net. Shot through traffic, blocked by Miedema. Comes loose onto Seffi's stick. She hands it off to Caden Yana. Yana with it down the far side. Backhands one to the middle. Seffi comes over to help out. Picked up by Yana. He slips through a couple players. In the high slot, tried to get a shot off. Daxon slides up to try to help out. That one sent up off the glass. Back down below the goal line. Nicholson sends it up the wall. Daxon has to retreat on this one. Picked off by Benson at the blue line. He brings it back in. Shots it on. That one went high and wide. Rams bring it around to the far side. Yana trying to get over there. Now Seffi sent through the middle. Daxon going to try to chip this one in. Gets it up to Nicholson. Nicholson puts on the brakes. Loses the handle on that one. Caught up in some skates. Rams had it for a second. Seffi pushes it down to the corner. Got about 20 seconds to go here in the second period. Rams are going to skate this one out. They'll go for a change, dump it in. Jackson goes behind his own net, picks it up. Try to send up the boards. Rams pick that one off. Caden keeps control of that one. About 5 seconds to play. Tied up at the blue line. Rams going to try to get one more shot here. Taken away by Daxon. They get control of it. Shots in on. Dom made the save, but right at the buzzer. It went to count it anyways. And that is the end of the second period. Oh, 2 periods in the books. Aviators trailing by 5. Have not been able to get much going. Had a couple chances, hit the post once or twice, but other than that, haven't really had many solid scoring chances. Aviators talking it over on the bench here. Probably less about winning the game, probably more about just poking one in past this goaltender at this point. Shots starting to favor heavily the Rams. They lead 22-16. It was pretty close after one. I think it was 11-10 now. Aviators only able to get 6 shots on that period. Rams doubling up their first period total, making it 22 in total, 11 each period. Aviators ready to go. Rams still talking it over. Refs headed out on the ice. We'll get ready for this third period. Aviators got a lot of work if they want to get back into it. Need to take it one goal at a time. They do need to find a way to start possessing the puck a lot more. Here we go. Fiala line out there for the Aviators. Face off, one back by Roseau. They chip up the wall, but stolen away by Shower. Now over comes Blasky. He has control of it. Loses that control. Pushed down in the corner. Picked up by Roseau. They backhand one behind the net. Sent through the middle. Stretch pass. Trying to spring the player through the middle, but sealed off there by Henderson. Here's Blasky. Loses the handle on that behind his own net. Backhands it over to the far side wall. Rams get on it first. They feed it to the top of the point. Shot sent on. That one went high and wide. They feed it back out to the point. Kept in by Roseau down the side wall. Roseau with it. Chips it to the middle. Trying to get a shot off. Henderson takes it away. Slips one Roseau player. Feeds it up. Gets it to Blasky. This will be chased down. Blasky trying to get there first. Beats the Roseau defenseman there. Spins, turns, fires. Goaltender makes a save. Picked up by Roseau. They bring it out of their own zone. Down the left side, trying to get a shot off. This one picked up by Seffi along the wall. She feeds it up to Kulak. He didn't quite see that first, but he ends up with it anyways. Down the right side, trying to slip around. The defenseman gets a handle on it. Feeds it to the middle. That was behind Yana, and Roseau knocks the net off once again. We'll get a face-off down on the Rams' end. Defenseman went sliding into their goaltender. They knocked the net off. And we'll get a face-off in the Roseau end. Looks like it'll be on the far side. Nicholson line out there for the Aviators. He's got Caden Yana and Seffi Newbert with him. Kulak and Miedema will be the defenseman. Picked up by Caden Yana. Feeds it to Charlie. Charlie rings it around to the near side. Seffi goes after that. Rams are going to get control here. They feed it to the middle. Off the mark. Picked up by Charlie. He retreats back in his own end. Sends one off the wall. That comes off of Yana's skate right to Nicholson. Nicholson brings it down in the far side. Cuts to the middle. Creates some space. Tried to shoot that down in the corner, but had it taken away. Nice job by Kulak. Keeps that one in. Seffi turns, fire one on net. Puck loose along the wall. Picked up by Roseau. They bring it back on the neutral zone. Bring it back 3-on-2. Into the corner. They Speed run up front. That goes off a Dom stick. Comes out to the point. Shots in on. That got blocked. Pushed to the side. Dom made the first save. Then made the second save. Holds on with a glove save. Couple of big saves there by Dom. And we're going to face off in the far side. Aviators end. 14:47 remaining here, third period. All Roseau so far this afternoon. They lead 5-0. Fargo line comes out for the Aviators. Mason will take the face off. He's got wide by Owenberg with him. Benson and Daxon will be the defensemen. Fargo wins the face off. Gets it up to Berg. Berg dumps it in. He'll chase this one in. Gets held up by a couple of Roseau defenders. Steals it away though. Gets it to White. Gets his own pass back. Here's shots in on, went into the corner, picked up by Wide by. Backhands one through the legs, gets to Daxon. Daxon turns, fires one towards the net. There's a loose puck. Berg tried to poke that one in. Rams ringing around the boards. Benson trying to stop this from coming out. Looks like he will. Pushes it back down the sidewall. Sent back out in the neutral zone though, and picked up by Benson. Benson feeds it over to Daxon. Daxon backhands one up, trying to get it to Mason Fargo. Comes into the Rams end. They go D to D. Pass through the middle. Rams pick this one up. Daxon steals it away. He's going to skate this one forward, trying to get it up. Just dumps this one in. It'll ring around to the near side. Fargo's going to come after this one. Rams send it up the wall. Centering pass right on the stick of Berg. Berg shot sent in. Goaltender makes a save, holds on. We're going to face up. So 13:41 remaining here. Third period. Rams all over the Aviators, 5-0. Fiala line comes out for the Aviators. Shot sent off, I believe the ref there. Picked up by Ryder Blasky, sends a shot on. Goaltender kicks it into the corner. Rams get control. Far side, the backhand one through the middle. Fiala tried to glove that one down, but Rams will bring it into the Aviators end. Push down in below the goal line. Fiala picks up behind his own net. Sends up the wall, gets the Blasky off of his stick. Rams gather it up in the corner. They go behind the net. Backhanded up front. Shot sent on. That one went wide. Henderson battling for this one. Rams feed it up front. Shower takes that away. Looks like he'll get control of it. Feeds it through the middle. Gets it up to Fiala. Had it knocked off of his stick. Rams regain control. Puck loose. A little miscommunication there by the Aviators. Rams will bring it back in. Shot sent on. That gets blocked by Henderson. Henderson with it. He sends it out of the zone. Looks like that one will go down for icing. We get an arm up and a whistle. Will reset back down on the Aviators' end. Oh, 12:48 remaining here, third period. Nicholson line comes out for the Aviators. He's got Seffi and Caden with him. Kulak and Miedema will be defensemen. Kulak sends the far side to Miedema. Miedema up to Yana. Yana to the middle, taken away by Roseau. Roseau with a high slot, trying to get through, had it knocked off. They're sticking on the neutral zone. Roseau gathers this up. Pass off the mark, picked up by Kulak. Kulak feeds it forward, gets it up to Nicholson. Rams steal that one away. They ring it around to the far side. Centering pass off the skate of Miedema. Now picked up by Yana. He has that puck taken off of his stick, and Rams feed it out into the neutral zone. Bouncing puck. Kulak knocks it away. Picked up by Miedema. Brought in off sides there. We're going to whistle. We're going to face off far side. Oh, 12:08 remaining here in the third period. As you can see on the scoreboard there, that one's won back by Roseau. They send it through the middle. Knocked out of the zone by Kulak. Roseau returns it back in. Should have been offside, but we say play on. Here's Roseau. High slot shot through traffic. Blocked there by Miedema. Picked up by Yana. He's going to skate this one down the near side. Working on the defenseman, trying to get through. He goes down. Arm goes up. We're going to get a tripping call here on Roseau and a power play for the Aviators. They're going to say a slash either way. Down went Caden Yana. Ref scolding the bench here a little bit for Roseau as they're barking about that call. They are leading 5-0, but we'll be down a man here for the next 2 minutes. 11:45 remaining, third period. Face off, one back. Daxon with it. Takes a look. Tried to get a shot off. Whiffed on that one. And Roseau will skate this one out. Slips around Benson. Shot sent on. Goes off the post. Here's Wyatt. Handed it off to Fargo. Daxon trying to settle that one down. Bouncing puck. He gathers it up. Sends it up the wall. Rams steal it away again. They bring it into the zone. Still with control. Turns, shoots, whiffs on it. Picked up by Daxon. Feeds it up to Wyatt. Wyatt takes a look. Feeds it to the middle. Gets to Fargo. Off of his stick. Over to Berg. Berg tried to feed it over to Fargo. Bouncing puck in the slot. Here's Berg. Slips around one player. Backhands one towards Fargo. Fargo tipped it. Goaltender kicked it aside. Sent out of the point. Here's Benson. Big shot. Tipped out front by Berg. Goaltender had to make the save on that one. Rams with control. They'll chip it out. Right back to Benson. Benson takes a look. Slips around one player. Gets pushed. Stays with it though. Skates this one forward. Slap shot. That one whistles just by the top of the net. Big hit there by Benson along the boards. Back comes Roseau down the left side. Working on the defense. Good job there by Berg. Arm goes up and a penalty coming to the Aviators. So 46 seconds still on that original penalty to Roseau. Aviators take a penalty of their own. Even things up, 4-on-4 here. Mason Fiala to take the face-off. He's out there with Ryder Blasky, Easton Green, and Henderson out there. There's a bad penalty for a Roseau player. Bad checking for Brian. Good to see Easton already up on his skates. That'll be a major on Roseau, so they'll have to send another guy to the box to lose that player for the rest of the, almost the rest of the game. He'll be in there for 10 minutes. There's only 10:23 remaining in the game here, so he's basically out for the rest of the game. Good to see Easton's okay. Coach checking on him, giving him a smile. So we're going to face off here in the Rams end. So 4-on-3, 10:23 remaining here. 3 Rams in the box right now, 1 for the Aviators. Sent out to the point, kept in by Kulak. Kulak shots in on. Goaltender makes the save, nobody out front. Here's Henderson with it. He grabs it along the wall. Kulak slides over, keeps this one in. Kulak sends it to the middle, but picked off. Bad pass there. Here's a race for it. Brought in on Dom. Shots in on Dom. Glove save. Holds on to that one, and we're going to face off. Oh, 4-on-3. Lots of space out there now. Will it benefit the Aviators or will it benefit the Rams? Face off, one back, sent over to Blasky, brings it in, dumps it down into the corner. Now Fiala, backhands one over, trying to get it to Blasky. That gets taken away by the Rams behind their own net. They're going to skate this one on the neutral zone. On the far side, number 9 on his own. Picked off here by Miedema, sends it over to Kulak. Kulak sends it off the wall. Roseau gains control. They're back 4-on-4. Here's Blasky. Skates it forward, trying to get around the defense. Lost the handle on it. He's out front. He had Fiala back door, but the goaltender got a stick on it. Knew Fiala was there. Just had to get a little bit of a stick on it. Stretch past there. We'll go for icing. Knew he had Fiala there. Got a stick on it. Was able to chip that over Fiala's stick. And out of harm's way, but an icing call on the Rams. We're going to face off back down in their end. 4-on-4 here. Shower to take the face off. He's got Seffi with him. Sent up the wall. It'll come out to Daxon. Rams chip and go around him. Benson has to race back to seal this one off. Has control of it. Goes behind his own net. Had to pick the pocket a little bit there. Rams gathered up. They work it over to the near side. Spin around. That's blocked by Benson Skate. Seffy picks it up. She feeds one through the middle. Gets the Shower. Goes off of his stick. They both gather it up here. Looks like it'll be Shower. Brings it into the zone. Down the far side. He tries to slip around. Gets control. Gives it to Seffy. Seffy takes the shot. Block. Player lost a stick. Seffy pokes that one away, but Rams gather it up and bring it back down to the Aviators' end. Chip down into the corner. Shower goes after it. Rams get there first. They try to feed one out front. Taken away by Seffy. So 5-on-4 here, but only for about 2 more seconds. They're back to 5-on-5. Daxon sends a shot on. That one's blocked. Taken away by Seffy. She tried to backhand on Nicholson, but Rams steal that one back, and back they come. Taken away by Daxon. Trying to get a handle on this one. Skates it forward. Has it knocked off of his stick. Down into the corner. Rams get there first. Daxon got away with a slew foot there. That would have been an ejection if he got caught doing that. Rams send this one down into the corner. Daxon sends this one down. Goes off a Rams stick. That should be too many men. Oh, Rams arguing this call again. So either way. Oh, Rams arguing this one, but it'll be a 5-on-4 power play here for the Aviators. 7:43 remaining here, third period, 5-0 Rams. Mason Fargo take the face off. His line out there. He's got wide by and Owenberg with him. Here's Henderson. Shot through traffic. Goaltender shot the whole way. Gets a glove on and holds on. Fargo. One to the sidewall into the chest of Berg. He gathers this one up. Gets it back to Mason. Mason working to the front of the net. Puck loose. There's a puck in the back of the net. Wide by. Finds a loose puck. Finds the back of the net. It makes it a 5-1 game. Power play goal here for the Aviators, as they finally get on the board with 7.5 minutes to go here in this third period. Face off one back by the Rams. Dumped down in the Aviators' end, picked up by Henderson. He goes behind his net, takes a look. It's on the brakes. Trying to find stretch pass, finds or wide by behind the defense, brings it in, shots it on. Goaltender makes the save, holds on. And we're going to face off here in the Rams' end. Rams goaltender standing tall there for his team as Wyatt had snuck between the two defensemen. Nice pass there by Henderson. But a big save by the Roseau goaltender. Face off one back, comes to Miedema. Miedema looks, shot through traffic, bouncing puck comes in on net. Knocked into the corner, picked up by Jordy Shower. Rams are able to send it up to the point. Kulak sends one off a skate down into the corner. Rams chip it forward once again. Cut in front of their own net. Picked up by Miedema. Miedema sends a shot on that. Was kicked wide by the goaltender. Stretch pass taken away by Fiala. Push forward. Here's Fiala. Shots in on. Try to find that top corner, but it rings around to the far side. Picked up by Miedema. Miedema down into the corner. Rung around to the near side. It'll be Shower down in the near side corner. He feeds it out to the point to Kulak. Kulak sends one on net. Rebound. Shower with it. Goaltender makes a save. Puck still loose. Rams trying to get this one out. Blasky trying to steal it back, but Roseau feeds it out in the neutral zone. Down the right side. Ooh, got behind the defense, but couldn't quite get a stick on a nice pass there by the Ram player, but it snuck all the way through. And now Jordy Shower brings this one down to the Aviators' end. Got bumped off the puck there. Rams with control go behind their own net. They feed it up the wing. Pass off the mark, chip back down in the corner by Nicholson. Blasky gets after it, puts a check on in the corner. Sent through the middle. Here's the Rams trying to get around the fence. In all alone on Dom. Shots in, beats him 5-hole in back of the net, and extends that lead back to 5. It's now 6-1. Oh, 6-1. Roseau Rams. 5:51 to go here. Aviators had taken the lead in the shot department, but haven't got the quality shots that they would like to get on net here. Brought forward by Benson, taken away by him. Rams dump it back down into the Aviators' end. Dexon goes down his own corner, picks this one up, skates it forward, slips around one player, had knocked off of his stick. Picked up by Benson. He tries to stretch one over to Caden. Yana goes off a skate. Rams will keep this one in the zone. Trying to get around Yana. They chip this one on net. Dom makes the save. Didn't know where that one went. Dump back down by Rosa into the corner. Dexon comes over, pokes that one away. Big hit there by Benson. Chipped up the wall. Steffi feeds out in the neutral zone. This will be sent back in, but off sides. And we're going to face off just outside the Aviators' end. Oh, Aviators sending out a fresh line here. 5:06 to go in the third period. Mason Fargo to take the face off. He's got the Aviators goal scorer wide by out there with him. Mason chips up the wall, gets to Berg. Berg trying to get this one out. Fargo kick it out in the neutral zone. That one's sent back in offsides. We get a quick whistle and a face off. Just outside the Aviators' end here again. Fargo to take the face off. Looks like he wins that one. He'll skate it forward. He gets tripped up. No call on that one. He gets up frustrated, but plays on. Roseau goes D to D. Now D to D again. They keep it in their own zone. Stretch pass taken away by Wide. He dumps it in, but that's offsides, and we'll get a face off outside the Rams end. Well, 4:38 to play here. Rams up 6-1. Puck tied up along the boards right in front of the Roseau bench. Comes loose. Roseau gets control of it. They chip it to the near side, brought into the zone. Henderson takes down his man along the boards. Wrapped around behind the net. Easton Greens goes back. He gets knocked down. Battle for it along the wall here. Wyatt pushes out to the point. Shot through traffic. That surprised Dom. Got a glove on it. Went up and over the net. Big hit in the corner there. Easton Green trying to battle for the puck. Looks like an arm goes up. It'll be a penalty on the Aviators here. Not 100% sure who it's on. It's either Mason Fargo or Easton Green. Looks like it'll be Mason Fargo. Oh, Aviators going down a man here with about 3:54 remaining in the third period. They trail by 5. Looks like it'll be Shower and Blasky out there at forward. Kulak and Minima as defense. Face off. Controlled by Roseau. Have it at the point. Slips away from Blasky. Cuts to the middle. Gets a shot off. Dom makes the save. Leaks out. Picked up by Kulak. Kulak chips one forward. That comes right to a Roseau Ram. Along the sidewall. Roseau with control of it. Sent out to the point. Slips around one. Aviator shots in on Dom makes the save. That one leaks out as well. Picked up by Shower along the sidewall. Taken away from him. Roseau has control of it in the corner. Feeds it out to the center dot. Over to the far side. Shots in on. Dom makes a glove save. Holds on. We're going to face off. Oh, minute 21 of power play time here for the Roseau Rams. 3:14 left on the game clock. Fiala takes the face off, tied up at the dot. Rams get control. Shots in on Dom, kicks that one behind the net. Benson sends it up the wall. Roseau sends it back in. Benson stopped that with his stick, tried to skate it out. Now it comes loose up to Caden off of his stick, though, down into the Roseau end, now into their bench. And we'll get a face off, looks like down in the Roseau end. We got just under 3 minutes to play here, just over a minute left on the power play for the Rams. Face off one back by the Rams. They send one high through the middle of the Rams trying to chase this down. They're going to get behind the defense. Dom's going to have to backhand this one in the corner, picked up by his brother Daxon. Gets up to Yana. Yana feeds it to the middle over to Benson. Benson brings it down the right side, tries to slip through the defense, has it again. Aviators are on the penalty kill, tied up by Benson down in the corner. About 30 seconds to go on the power play here for the Rams. They stretch one across the middle. That one's through everybody. Picked up by Fiala back in his own zone. He sends it up the wall. That one's sent all the way down. That'll go for icing. As we got 2:19 to play here. 26 seconds left on the power play for the Rams. You can see the score there, 6-1. This one all but done here. Aviators would have to get going, score now and score off into the next couple of minutes to get back in this one. This face off one by Seffi. She pushes it forward but gets her pocket picked. Back comes the Rams. They work it to the high slot. Shot sent on. That one whistles by the post. Rams get on it once again. Sent out to the defenseman. Shot sent on. Dom makes the glove save on that one. Holds on. We're going to face off. Oh, Stephanie take the face off again here. Still in the penalty kill for another 10 seconds. She wins that one. Tied up in the skates. Finally dug out. Roseau gets control of it. They're going to work this one off the sidewall. Out into the high slot. Shots in on. He's made that move 3 times and finally finds the back of the net. Makes this a 7-1 game. Oh, just once again, as the penalty expires, Roseau scores. Not a power play goal, but nonetheless, they find the back of the net once again, make this 7-1 with just under 2 minutes to play. Face off one back by the Aviators. Miedema sends it, or Kulak sends it over Miedema. Miedema back to Kulak. He sends it up the wall, but taken away by Roseau. Kulak follows it up. Big hit along the boards here, but back comes Roseau. Shot sent on. That one went whistled high and wide. Comes out to the point. They chip it up off the glass. Knocked down by Fargo. Puck loose. Rams gathered up. Shots in on. Dunn makes a glove save. Holds on. We're going to face off. Oh, since it's a 6-goal lead, running time now, so clock continues to tick down as we hit a minute 15. We'll probably be about a minute here by the time the puck is dropped. Face off one back, but illegally, I guess, so they will reset and do that again. Ram player caught cheating on that one, so we'll have to switch out the face-off guy here. Face-off one back by the Aviators this time. Miedema feeds it over to the near side wall. Wide comes down. This one will get pushed around to the far side once again. 40 seconds to play. Down goes Miedema, picked up by Fargo. Fargo feeds one out, taken away by Roseau. Battle for it in the corner here. Comes off a skate. Roseau gets control. They feed out to the point. Shots in on through traffic. That one off a skate. Went well wide. Picked up by Roseau in the corner. They feed one towards the front of the net. Puck loose. Bouncing around. Finally comes loose. Picked up by Kulak. He's going to skate this one forward. Tried to chip it forward. Misplayed that one. Back comes Roseau. Down the left side. Fed to the middle. Arm goes up. Looks like it'll be on the Aviators. Looks like that was Kulak was going to get called for a kneeing. But the time runs out, and that's the end of this one. 7-1 loss for the Aviators. Not the way they wanted to finish the weekend, but got down early and stayed down the rest of the game. Couldn't find a lot of mojo there during that whole part of the game. There was times where they started moving the puck around a little bit, but just couldn't quite get much going against the Rams here this afternoon. But we will have a couple of games next weekend, one against the Fargo Angels, one, I believe, against Grafton in the afternoon, and then Thief River on Sunday. I will get those posted up on the Facebook page. Hopefully you can join us for those ones. Aviators got some work to do in practice this week. It will be a shorter week. We got Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday, so hope all of you have a happy holiday and some fun times with family. Eat lots of food. Enjoy your Friday. Luckily, the boys don't have to turn around and play on Friday as many other Aviator teams do, but they get lucky and get to relax once again on Friday, but they get after it for 2 games on Saturday, so that should be fun. Well, as always, we appreciate you joining us for this one, and we will see you next time.